The world could always use more heroes. Nerf this!
Here we are. We've talked about our top 24 games. We've gone in depth with 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we are, number 1. It is Overwatch. There are a lot of great shooters this year, a lot of fantastic shooters this year. Overwatch topped that list. It topped our favorite games list. Eric Tay, you played a lot of Overwatch, and I think the first most alluring aspect of this game is its heroes, this iconic cast of people who have already become these cultural icons. Can you tell me about them and what makes them push this game forward?
Yeah, I mean, just a wonderful cast. It's got a big diversity from, offensive heroes, defensive heroes, to support heroes, and I think that's part of the reason why this game is so fun for us. You could pick your Soldier 76, who's kind of like your COD player. You can pick your Pharah, who's kind of like your Quake player. Or now with Sombra, she's kind of like the Spy from TF. And so you have this huge diverse cast that lets you play in very different ways, and you might master one character, but you might learn another character just to fill roles, and roles are so important, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you touched on it a little bit, but that's one of my favorite things about this game. I go into it one day and I'm just killing a lot of people as, Reaper or Sombra. But another game, I go into it and I'm Mercy. I'm healing my teammates, or I'm Ana, one of my favorite characters, and I'm healing them from afar while also hurting the other team. You don't have to be killing people to contribute to this game, which is kind of special for a shooter. Mary, what was your experience like learning different characters and kind of figuring out how you could contribute?
Yeah, Overwatch really gets to pull from a wider range of people who want to play games like this, because this isn't just a shooter. This is an objective-based team game, and you can help your team not just by killing people. If you're really into mobility, you should pick someone like a Lucio or maybe a Mercy, where you're just kind of soaring around the map or moving really quickly, healing people and helping. Or perhaps maybe you just want to help your team stay safe and carry the payload forward. Well, then you're a Reinhardt. There's so many other ways. One of my favorite characters is Mei, who's just constantly changing the map or messing with the opposing team and what they're trying to accomplish. It's brilliant how you can utilize these characters in various ways, and sometimes not in the ways you might expect. And that's something that this game does that I haven't seen in games in a really long time.
Yeah, the more you learn the characters, the more you figure out different nuances you can kind of take advantage of with their abilities and their powers and whatnot. That's not even to mention the map design, which Blizzard, despite the fact that this is their first shooter, pretty much honed to a craft. It's just almost artistic in how they vary the verticalities, the different sight lines, how this choke point becomes just crazy for these firefights. Eric, these maps are burned into our mind by this point. Even the new ones that we've almost gotten to learn, like Antarctica with 3v3. These maps facilitate these heroes clashing in these crazy, colorful, neon laser blasted ways. Tell me about these maps. What makes them so good?
It's really what you said. They're just like another balance on top of a balance. It's amazing to think that different characters all work on these same maps, but they totally change how you play, right? Like you have a Genji or a Hanzo. You're trying to get up to a high point where you can snipe someone or get to the back lines. Or you're Lucio and you're wall riding a well or wall riding inside of a building, healing your teammates while the opposing team's like, where the hell is this healing coming from? Or you're Roadhog trying to hook someone into a well. And it's just all these environmental things are so amazing to see, and it's just, we'll go with the word brilliant. They've found a way to just craft these maps and make them so balanced with the characters.
Yeah, it's crazy that everything you just said is second nature to me, and it doesn't sound crazy, but back when the game released, we still had so much to learn, and we are still learning, right? There's that crazy fun of mastering a character. Like, I prefer Zarya or Ana or McCree. I love those characters. I will stand by them. But it's just as fun to learn someone I'm not familiar with, like a Zenyatta or a Sombra. That balance between those two poles is kind of what keeps me going in Overwatch and finding the new nuances. Mary, do you find that happening often as well?
Yeah, the game brings that out in you because it's allowing players to change characters mid-match. It wants you to do that. It wants you to feed off of the connection you have with your teammates, the characters that they've chosen, the map, and then your opposing team, and how all those dynamics come together in these tremendous moments of success and failure. There are these times where you're completely out of time and you're trying to get a payload to the next objective and you're pretty much done. But if you can get Zarya to use that Graviton ult at the right time and then use like a Hanzo ult to kind of finish off the opposing team, you can get a team wipe and you will just feel it. Everyone gets excited when you have these moments of glory, and you can have them in a million different ways because of all the different ways these pieces come together. It's just really cool how they've brought these moments out in us. You won't win them all, but when you do get play the game, you feel amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Overwatch is ambitious, to say the very least. The fact that Blizzard's kind of borrowing from the entire shooter genre since back at, like, the late 80s almost till today with, you know, like, influences from Titanfall, Quake, Doom, Wolfenstein, all these different shooters. The fact that it coalesces into this one, like, genius kind of game, and how it all feels balanced, how it all feels exhilarating even this many months after release. It's hard as hell to set yourself apart from all the other fantastic shooters in 2016. It's even harder to become the one game that we cannot stop going back to, and that is why it is GameSpot's #1 game of 2016.
Justice reigns forever. Helden sterben nicht.